Well, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the February On Track session for the Middleton Chamber. Today, we're going to do a social media contest. So just a couple housekeeping things. You guys do have that microphone button down in the bottom left. So when there's a slash so that you're on mute, same thing with your camera. If you can tune your camera on, we would love to see you to know you're out there. We will be taking questions throughout and also utilizing chat. So feel free to drop those in as we go. Just a shout out to our sponsors, a thank you to TDS and Amplify Digital for supporting and sponsoring this track today. So I want to introduce Suzanne. She's with Pilch & Barnett, which is a Madison-based marketing agency. For over 20 years, Pilch & Barnett has helped destinations and businesses of all sizes thrive and grow, offering a full range of services from social media maintenance to web design, photography and videography, public relations, strategic planning, and so much more. So Suzanne, I'd love to turn it over to you.
Great. Well, thank you, Kristen, and thank you, everyone. It is a rather chilly day for those of us that are in Wisconsin. A few of us were chatting at the beginning of the call, and I'm sad to report that I guess we had the lowest temperature among the 48 lower states. Although I heard that we were even colder than Alaska today. So cheers to those of you who've been able to find a way to stay warm, and there's nothing like continuing your training and being able to do so from your office, no matter where that is. So anyway, I'm Suzanne Thiede Barnett. I'm with Pilch & Barnett. Thank you again, Kristen, for inviting me on. Some of you I've seen before as I've presented at some of the other chamber events, the morning breakfast. Our agency currently works with the Middleton Tourism Commission. Hello, Mari and Julie. I see that you're both on here. We've been working with Middleton. Well, let's see, we're celebrating our 20th year this year as an agency, and we've probably been working with Middleton for about 18 of those years, specifically on the tourism side. So excited to have you here, and we're going to just jump right in right away and start talking about contests and promotions. Again, the reason that you're here. My goal today is really, I hope that all of you can leave with something, whether contests and promotions are something that you already have within your tool chest and you're just looking to make sure you're hitting all of the buttons, so to speak, or to maybe look at a different type of promotion than what you've done before, or maybe just to find out if in fact contests and promotions are something you should dip your toes into. So certainly, as Kristen said, and I also wanted to introduce Kate Hagan from my office. She is an actual social media expert, and she's on to answer as well, along with myself, any questions that you have. So feel free to jump in and use chat as we continue through this conversation today. And hello, Kate, good to see you. All right, so what are you doing right now? Hopefully you're doing a variety of different things. And I'm guessing that, yes, most of you are using a combination of website, social media, e-newsletters, and now you're here because, as I just said, you want to expand on contests and promotions. Should they be a part of your overall marketing plan? We think so, and that's what we're going to talk about today. Okay, so why contests and promotions? Well, lots of different reasons, and probably right off the bat is increasing engagement from your fans and customers. Okay, so you want more traffic to your website so that they think about your product more, product business more. You want to increase your e-newsletter subscribers or start a list, something that you either have and you want to add to it so that you can communicate to that opt-in list with more frequency. You're currently using social media and you want to build either content or engagement on your social media channel. So again, increases engagement in your fans and your customers. A big thing for contests and promotions as well is all of those people who are already on those lists, who are already interacting with you, it provides value to them. It gives them a reason to stay engaged with you. It rewards them. It makes them feel like you're thinking about them and it's special. So again, you can grow and find new people, but you can also provide reward to those who already know about you. It also is a good way to solicit organic content. That can be in the form of testimonials and reviews. We all know how important word of mouth is. And this is certainly an easy way to be able to do that if we need to add to our photo library. We're going to talk about goals as we continue on here. But again, soliciting content, whatever that may be to your business and your product, whatever it is that you're selling. Again, another reason that contests and promotions might provide value. Okay, let's get started. So, as is the case in almost anything that we do, step one is really identifying what your goals are. And oftentimes when we think about different campaigns and we meet with people who are the decision makers, they say, I want it all, right? I want everything. I mean, isn't that the case when we go to the car lot and we're looking at, I want all-wheel drive and I want a red car and I want a sunroof and I want all these things. But of course, all those things come with the need for more resources, complication, there's a lot to think about. So really step one is identifying what your goals are. And I can't say enough, keep it simple, especially if this is something that's new to you. Pick one thing and go after it and see how it works. And then maybe next time try something different. So let's say you're doing a Facebook promotion and you just want to gain more fans. You want more people to see your page and like it so that you can interact with them later through your posts, right? Or we just talked about e-newsletters, definitely an important tool to be able to use as well. And let's say you've been hovering at 500 people forever, and you just want to find a way to be able to grow that e-newsletter list so that you can start providing more content and information to them. Or perhaps it's going back to some of those ideas. I want to get some real testimonials. I want to get testimonials that we can add to our Facebook page, add to our website, or my photo library is low. I want to get pictures of more people who are using my product, whatever that might be. You can have multiple goals, but again, as I said, simpler is often better, or at least having a hierarchy so that there's something that you can really concentrate on as your primary goal. Okay, we have a goal. Who is our audience? Are we looking to reach new people? Are we looking to reach existing people? Are we looking to reach both? So again, really think about what is my goal and who is it that I want to target with my goal? And these may seem like very basic questions, but let's say you're a restaurant and you have a new menu that's coming out for, Valentine's Day is just around the corner, but let's say you have these specials for Valentine's Day and you want to be able to right now increase that curbside pickup and be able to, show what you have. And so what can you do in a matter of a couple days, and who is your best audience to be able to do that to? And what is it that you can do to be able to get that Valentine's special or get them thinking about it right in front of you? So again, just walk through the different patterns and think about what's my goal, who am I targeting? And as we proceed to walk through today, hopefully you'll find the different channel that might work best for you. Lastly, of course, in the quick things to consider is what resources can you dedicate? Resources being, yes, money, because money is always a consideration, but the other for us is time, right? So probably a lot of what I'm going to share today are ideas you've already thought about, but it's how can I do these things? How can I juggle them with the other things that I'm currently doing. And so you really have to be honest with yourself in thinking about what resources you have. And sometimes time leads to simplicity, which is okay. Maybe don't go after a really complex, a very complex giveaway or promotion if you know that you don't have a lot of time or dollars to allocate, toward it right now. The other thing to think about in terms of resources is with time is how long, how it doesn't have to be a long contest. Honestly, in the case of even Valentine's Day, we still have a couple of days to think about. And if you like what you're hearing today and you can kind of follow along with your sheet, and Valentine's Day is a holiday that fits into whatever your product is, you could launch something today and run it for a couple of days and hopefully still see some success with it. So definitely think about the timing as you're working through this. Most social media giveaways really only last a couple of days. The other thing to think about, and as we sort of walk through here, is things to consider is as we're walking through again the goals, who, what, when, all of these things. Think about what you want to call this promotion, what this name is, and how it again correlates with who you're targeting and what your goals are. So if my goal is going back to increasing curbside pickups for my restaurant for Valentine's Day, and my audience, I think, is my existing customers who I just need to remind them that I have this Valentine's special because maybe I'm not generally open on Sunday, but I am because it's Valentine's Day. And I have $100 to allocate toward this, and I have 2 days to be able to put toward this. And think about, what could I call this to make it clear that I'm promoting Valentine's Day and to make it clear who I am, right? So it can be as simple as making sure, again, your business or product name is in it, whatever the timing is. In this case, it's Valentine's Day, something that would associate with that and really make people pay attention to it. The other thing to consider are some of the different words that are tied to it: giveaway, contest, sweepstakes, and kind of think about what the quick thought is for people in terms of what those names imply. So for example, giveaway might imply just a random selection, but using the word contest, that could give someone the idea that maybe there's some type of skill or judging, something that's involved in it more than just something that's a random occurrence. So definitely something to think about as we move forward with the name of it. Okay, picking the platform. You can't really go wrong here, but it really comes back to looking again at, I'm going to say it, the goals and the audience, and making sure that it makes sense and it works. So each is going to have benefits. Certainly each will have drawbacks, but again, you need to really look at what your goals and who your audience is, and make sure that you can focus on a platform that you're already on. If you haven't launched Instagram yet, probably not a good idea to start with a promotion right away. Although it can help you build a new audience, you want to already have something developed before you start using that platform. And certainly we're going to talk about, and I'm going to show you examples of running contests on each platform: Facebook, Instagram, as well as multi-channels. Those tend to last a little bit longer. Those tend to be ones that you're going to get more, but you're going to ask a little bit more from. And so we'll look at some of those different examples as we continue on. But in all cases, no matter what platform you use, yes, there are rules, and you certainly need to make sure that you follow them. Each of the platforms does have, under their account terms, it does have rules that you need to follow. Certainly right off the bat, and if you've looked at any promotions online that you've participated in, Facebook is not sponsoring any, Instagram is not sponsoring any, it is the entity of which you represent. And so the requirements are, they're actually pretty clear, as it has undergone lots of changes over the years. When we first got started with these types of online promotions, things were very complicated and there was just a lot that went with it. And it was really hard to do anything actually on the platforms because they didn't want it to be associated with it. And now you can pretty easily run them on the platforms, but there are still rules that you need to follow. So make sure that you're educating yourself about that, whether you're doing it yourself and looking, there's lots of different tutorials and webinars, things like this that you can do that are used by each of the platforms that are offered, or you can certainly partner with a group such as Pilch and Barnett to be able to help with that too. But please keep those rules in mind. Okay, prizes. Yeah, prizes are fun and everybody wants to, think about just the most creative and unique and, again, prizes, because that's going to make the whole difference to the contest. And yeah, prizes are important, but just like each step of the contest, make sure that it relates to your goals and your audience, right? So if I'm creating a promotion to draw attention to curbside pickup on Valentine's Day, and I am a restaurant, it would be pretty natural for me to give away something associated with my restaurant, right? A meal, a gift certificate, something specific, maybe a bottle of wine or something if that's within, again, the products that I offer. You don't want to offer perhaps something that sure ties into Valentine's Day, like a big bear, but isn't directly, it doesn't impact your business. Like I can win that bear and never step into your business. You want it to be something that, again, fits into what your goals are, reaches your audience and makes sense for what it is that you're promoting. And you don't necessarily need to think big. Some of the examples that I'm going to show you today are $25 giveaways. How many of you would be happy with a $25 gift certificate to go buy a new piece of art, to buy some type of accessory, to buy a cool writing utensil? I mean, again, it can be anything, but make sure that it fits and that it really, in the end, is going to promote your product and promote your business. We certainly do use promotions that give away money, and it can just be straight up cash. And we see very good success. I'm actually going to show you one of those where we gave away $500. But as I mentioned in my earlier example with the stuffed bear, again, you can walk that line of getting people who might not necessarily be as interested in your product or your business as they are the cash. And so in those cases, you really want to be careful that you're advertising to that audience that you're targeting and not just this big blanket that you can lay so that, yep, sheer numbers are great, but if none of those people are going to buy your product, come into your store, then the big numbers really didn't work to meet the goals that you were looking at of driving traffic or driving product sales. So make sure that they make sense, and if you are doing something like cash, that it does give that big wow, but that you have a very set targeted audience that you're marketing to. And of course, the other thing I will say with prizes is the bigger the value of the prize, then you start having to think about some of the tax implications too. So in general, I try to stay away from those just because it does mean more paperwork and following people up with that. But again, as long as it makes sense, certainly well worth it to walk forward. Okay, so cruising through this, which platform should I use? Again, we're going to talk, and I'm going to show you examples of Facebook, Instagram, ones that use all the platforms, and then we're going to talk a little bit about advertising. So the first one platform that I'm going to talk about here is Facebook. And hopefully all of you are using Facebook to promote your product or your business, if it makes sense. It is the largest social media audience. People always say, which platform should I use? What should I do? Again, you have to go back and look at what your goals are and who your audience is. But surely Facebook has the widest audience to be able to reach. And depending on what you're looking at, might be the best place to start if you already have a page and it's something that you're already dedicating time to. You can run the promotions and contests on pages, groups, or events. And yes, the entry can be as easy as comment for a chance to win. Again, what am I getting there? I'm getting engagement. Do I want to build engagement? Is that my goal, is to get higher engagement on my social media, on my Facebook page, so that in the future, when I'm promoting things, more people are seeing it? Because as a Facebook page, I'm being rewarded because more people are engaging, and those people who did enter and comment, chances are that you're going to end up in their feed later on. You cannot use personal timelines. You cannot use connections to administer the promos. So share on your timeline, that's a no-no. That's breaking the rules. Telling people to tag your friends in this post, no, you can't do those things. However, there are ways that you can work around some of those things. So an example, instead of saying share in your timeline, tag your friends, you could say, I'm giving away this Valentine's dinner, right? Who's the special someone that you might like to dine with? Or who are the different people that you think might enjoy a Valentine's dinner to go? And certainly you're working around where you're not explicitly asking, but you're saying, who would you take, or who do you think needs a dinner to go? And so again, ways to be able to work around it and still follow the rules, the eligibility requirements, and the release of Facebook. Facebook is not sponsoring this. You can put comments on the post, you can direct people to the websites. And again, there's a lot of different examples that are out there for you to be able to look at and be able to see how different people are working around some of the rules and different ways to be able to meet their goals within promotions. There are so many promotions out there. As a team, we are constantly looking at not only industry ones that are happening specifically for clients, but just as I'm going about business as a mom, as a business owner, as someone who lives in Dane County, as someone who attended UW, as someone, different things. Obviously, you're getting fed different opportunities based on what your interests are. And it's always kind of fun to compare and see how people do them. And again, think about, doesn't all have to be complicated. Some of them can certainly be simple. Okay, so I promised a couple examples. Here are two Facebook examples that we recently ran. One for Middleton Tourism, for Visit Middleton. And this happened right in front of the holiday, right as the holiday season was coming up. We're trying to get people thinking about some of the different places that they might want to buy product from in Middleton, as Middleton is our client. And we're saying, yep, Clausen's Bakery, great stop. They were so busy over the holidays, as they always are, making just delicious goodies for all of us. We gave away a $25 giveaway to the bakery. In terms of resources, we took $50 in advertising money to be able to promote it just on Facebook. From a time perspective, we did create a simple video that we posted. Again, you wouldn't need to do that, but that is part of what we did. And the promotion ran for less than a week, so a very short span of time. But look at the results. We reached more than 9,000 people. More than 9,000 people saw what you're seeing on the screen right now. 3,600 people viewed that video. 3,600 people. 850 people did something. They thumbed up, they commented, they engaged by taking some type of action. And over 250 people entered for a $25 giveaway. So in this case, total budget was $75 plus time. And I think we all could agree, pretty good results here in a pretty quick amount of time, just a few days. The other example that I'm showing you here, we did a blanket giveaway for a client right before winter, whether it was, hey, buy this blanket for yourself because it's getting cold, or as a gift because the holiday season is approaching. We received it as a donation in return for naming the company that gave it to us, that produced the blanket. So in this case, the client didn't even have to spend money. They just partnered with someone on it. And we spent about $75 on advertising here. And in this case, what you saw here, there was no video in this case. It was a picture showing the blanket. We received over 17,000 people reached it, they saw it. And we had over 450 entries, and this ran in an even shorter time frame of 4 days. And so in this case, it cost us, again, $75 and a donation from a partner to be able to move forward on this. And so again, from a design standpoint, this was not complex, right to the point, very clear, giveaway time, surprise, put in there what we're giving, and bam, people knew exactly what to do. Instagram, also a pretty easy way to run a contest. Again, if you have an Instagram page, if you don't, get a page started, and then maybe have your goal be that you're looking at increasing engagement on your Instagram. It's easy to run a contest because, again, people can comment to win. They can tag a friend in the comments. Like Facebook, yes, they also have rules. They are not sponsoring your contest. They're not responsible for the contest. If you are not currently advertising on Instagram, but you are on Facebook, you can boost your posts using your Facebook ads account. So again, sort of the simplicity of being able to work and have that platform of working with both, and then being able to easily be able to get that information out there and be able to advertise. Here, 2 examples. I picked another one from Middleton, Pie Day. Yes, we're all gonna get really hungry looking at that key lime pie, one of my favorites. And in honor of Pie Day, yes, we wanted to get people thinking about the pies that are available downtown at Hubbard. And we gave $25 away. We put $75 in advertising. We did this just through Instagram. We received more than 1,100 engagements within our post here, and we only ran it for 2 days. You can't compare the numbers. Instagram's a different platform than Facebook. This is good, especially considering 2 days. And we only spent $7,500, $25 on the giveaway, $100. But again, very clean and looking at what it is we were giving away, and the fact we were using somewhat of a holiday to be able to draw that attention. Our other giveaway, we received from the local Culvers, in this case in Rhinelander, as a giveaway, a cheese curd plush. And we ran this contest again, a very short amount of time, 4 days. We put $100 behind it, and over 13,000 people we reached through this, and over 2,200 people engaged with our post. So these examples that I'm showing you here on Instagram and Facebook, again, I think you all would agree, very low budget. I do encourage you to run a contest when you can put a little bit of money behind it. It's hard right now with the algorithms within both platforms to really have people be able to see what you're posting without putting a little something behind it. But even with the different advertising budgets that I've showed you here of around $50 or $75, pretty low for a few days. Didn't take a whole lot of time to be able to necessarily put it together and watch it, but really gives you the benefits. So those are great places to start. Okay, let's say that you want to build your e-newsletter list. You, again, I go back to that example. I have 500 people on my list. I want to be able to grow that list so that as we're approaching the summer season, and I know that more people, I'm a golf course, I know more people are going to be golfing and need to be able to get on my list so that they can find out when I'm opening and the different specials that I'm offering and different leagues that might be coming up for sign up. I want to run a bigger contest, and I want my goal to be increasing my e-newsletter list, or maybe going back to increasing my photo library. I want people to submit photos of them enjoying this cold weather right now with my product. They're using my product, they're wearing my product. I want to get more pictures of that I can share within the different marketing that I'm doing. Using full contests like this and hosting them on your website definitely allows you to be able to get a little bit more information and be able to do a little bit more. It will drive more traffic to your website because that's where your promotion is going to be housed. More information. Click here to join my e-newsletter list. Click here to like my Facebook page. Download your photo here to enter the contest. The drawback, yeah, it can be a little more complex. It can be a little more expensive. It likely will. Maybe you will need help if you don't have the skill set to be able to do that. But again, you're going to be able to get more. And in this case, you can have various goals that are multi-approached. I still encourage you to have priority to them, but you can have more goals and be able to likely reach a wider audience by doing what we call a full contest, where you're sending people back to your website to be able to answer and reply. So in some of these examples that I have here, they're showing different ways that you can promote the contest. So that's really the other thing, is I can promote it on all of my social channels. I can promote it on my website, in my e-newsletters. If I have a unique enough approach or contest or prize or name or something that is timely, perhaps I can send a release out and be able to get someone to pick it up within the local media or even niche media if you get it far enough out in advance. So there's a lot more to consider, but the benefits definitely can outweigh all of that additional work too. Here's one that we ran for an organization that promotes the Great River Road. This again is an example of one that I told you where we gave away cash. And in this case, it was $500. And we said, yep, we're calling this Drive the Great River Road. Our promotion is of this roadway, this National Scenic Byway. What do we want people to do? We want people to drive it. So we're calling it Drive the Great River Road. We've said sweepstakes because we're giving away $500. It's going to be at random. And we're saying you can use that money to take that trip whenever you're ready down the Great River Road. And so we ran it for a month, so longer than the couple of days that we had been looking at on single platforms. We ran it the entire month. And what you're looking at here is the actual contest page. And for someone to enter into the contest, we're encouraging them, step one, to like us on Facebook. We can't make them like us on Facebook, but we can encourage them by saying step one. If they don't like us, they can still go to step two, but we're encouraging them to like us on Facebook. And again, the fact that they found this page and they found us tells us, based on the advertising that we're doing, the different channels that we marketed, that they're already a qualified audience, someone who'd already be interested in driving on this parkway. We can even find out how they heard about the giveaway. Again, because with the form, we have a little more information. We can ask them, the prize is more than $25. It's a bigger value. We can ask them for a little bit more information as well. And within here, their email, you can see with an asterisk that indicates that they're joining our email list. And again, they can opt out of it. There's going to be a follow-up email that gives them that opportunity to complete their opt-in. But we're asking for more information. We're getting more information. In this case, we ran it for the entire month. We received over 7,300 entries. Our goal was to increase our e-newsletter list, and we did, by 3,400. And really, we met what our goal was. And in looking at this, yeah, it took a bigger budget, it took more resources, but we increased, even though it wasn't a primary goal, a secondary goal was to increase our Facebook likes. We did that. We increased our e-newsletter list, and we were able to promote something that was called Drive the Great River Road during a month that we, through media releases, were promoting the fact we wanted people to drive and experience everything that this roadway had to offer over the course of that month. So again, we were able to accomplish and meet quite a few goals and see quite a bit of success through that as a bigger contest. Just wrapping things up a little bit, picking a winner, yep, obviously very important, and it's easy with social media. You can just select at random. Gets a little bit trickier when you're asking for things that are not a random chance to win, such as photo contests. They can get a little bit more involved. Again, you just have to really spell those rules out and look at different ways that you can do that. So many examples out there, but something you should think about, again, in going sort of that route where it's not random, is how you're going to select a winner. And certainly agencies such as ours can help with these types of things should your staff not be able to fulfill, some of the more complex parts to doing the multifaceted contests that we talked about. So obviously ROI, very important, and I showed what some of those results were within our examples, but you definitely want to look, did you meet the goals? Look at the metrics. Did you get the engagement? Did you get the numbers that you were looking at? Do you have the comments? Learn from each opportunity, and that's why having really a single focus allows you to be able to hone in and hopefully be able to look at how you can improve the next time if you didn't meet the goals. There should always be takeaways, right? Should we run it longer? Should we look for other organizations to partner with where we're then able to tap into their social media, their e-newsletter, their website? Did the prize have an impact? Sometimes you can tell certain things. We've seen a few prizes for some of our clients that are our destinations this year, such as a kayak, that have received just incredible numbers because kayaks were hard to get this year. A lot of people, because of COVID, have taken to more outdoor recreation, and we were trying to promote this destination as a great place to paddle. They have a ton of different paddling routes for all different levels, and so the kayak was a great tie-in to be able to promote that we have kayaking and you could win a kayak. And what we found was, wow, people really wanted kayaks, and people commented even in the comments where we were asking them to go to the website and enter, they still engaged in social media and commented to their friends like, hey, here's our chance to win and be able to actually go on this kayaking trip, we've been talking about. And so again, prizes can certainly make a difference, and you can look at what that impact was. But bottom line is, hopefully you're going to learn a little bit more about that audience that you are targeting. You're going to learn a little bit more about how these types of promotions work specific to your business, to your product, to who that audience is that you're trying to bring in, whether it be rewarding your existing or growing a new audience to be able to engage with. Those are certainly all things to think about. The one thing I will say too is in terms of the length of a promotion, the longer you make it, certainly the more you have to be right there administering it and watching what's happening. And in this day and age, and especially online, people's attention spans, they're quick, right? And so unless you have a budget to sustain that attention and be able to keep really reminding that audience that you're targeting, or your audience is, wide enough that you can really sustain it. Sometimes promotions can get buried in news feeds. Your advertising just can't cover, and there's less value in running it for a longer time than like the urgency of like, yes, running it right now. Valentine's Day is approaching. St. Patty's Day is approaching. I want to run it now and get people like really thinking and excited about it and creating some urgency around it. And this just provides a little of information about us. And certainly, as I said, I have one of my social media experts, Kate Hagen, on with myself, and we're open to answering, along with Kristen, any questions that you might have. I know I went through it really fast. As you can tell, I love marketing. My team loves marketing. We really utilize social media promotions and contests and sweepstakes as a big tool within our tool chest that we use in being able to both reach existing audiences and being able to grow our new audience. We use all platforms and lots of multifaceted platforms. We've learned a lot over the years, but it's really a great option that you should consider if you haven't already. Start with something small and grow from there. But thank you so much for your time. And again, I'm open to any questions that anyone might have.
I have a question. So when we're looking at those benchmarks for the contest and stuff, is there any like baseline benchmark that or information that people could have? Like, so I ran it, it hit my goal, but actually it was really kind of a stinky contest. Is there anything out there that people could read about?
Well, I think part of it is trial and error. It depends so much on what the goal is and what your resources are and who you targeted. The hope is that as you look at doing something, even if it's on a very small scale, you're going to learn something from it. And that's often the case with us too. I mean, we run a lot of different types of promotions, and sometimes they may stump us. Why is it that the kayak performed so much better than this? And we can tie it back to something that relates to what's happening in today's world. But I feel like it's really a trial and error. If you look at what you're getting right now on website visits, if you're looking at driving traffic to your website, or right now with your $50 ad budget per month, where you're trying to find new people to like your page, compare that with the $50 in advertising that you would use for some type of social media giveaway on Facebook. You can start there with your goals and then kind of learn from there. Be realistic though, right? And that's why approaching it simple will give you the opportunity, I think, to sort of better create some of those benchmarks. It really depends on so many different factors. And that's why I tried to show you some real simple ones.
Perfect. We did have a question come in through chat too. Are there any additional platforms you would recommend other than Facebook and Instagram that are doing well in the Dane County market?
Well, I mean, I think that they're good ones to start if you aren't already doing it in such a way. If you have already done some of these simple giveaways on your platforms, then look at a look at one that has a multi-approach. Look at one that uses all the different ways that you could reach that audience. I talked about the one where I was promoting the fall drive on this parkway, right? We sent out releases where we were promoting that giveaway and the aspect of driving that parkway for that month. We sent out that release, and off it, we received so much public relations in the form of radio, interviews, to, of course, different pickups in print and on web. But the public relations aspect can certainly provide a lot more opportunity, and certainly all it costs is your time and putting something together. If you want to promote to your existing base, having something within your place of business. If you're a restaurant, having little table tents that are promoting it. People are already there. We want them to come back. We want to reward them, right, for coming back. So you can do, you can as well reach out to people within your business. And partnering, I can't, share enough how important partnering is. That example I showed with the blanket, using their social media channel to be able to promote their blanket, but at the same time promoting the client that we're working for, and being able to really expand the reach of the possibilities of who might be interested. Partner with someone that makes sense, but think about it as that's also an audience I would like to get. And if there's a way that you can both scratch each other's back and do so utilizing sort of your in-kind budgets, great opportunity. Really word of mouth, right? Getting ambassadors of people who have tried your product. Linda was mentioning earlier at the beginning of the call, not to pick on you, Linda, and I don't even really know what your product is, I'm sorry, but what you said to Kristen, even with wanting her to try it so that you could get a real testimonial of someone that is a parent and has children that are a certain age. I mean, those are opportunities, again, to be able to bring into the contest and really take a multi-pronged approach and be able to reach out to people.
I think Kate's doing a good job of keeping on some of the chat questions as well. So make sure you guys are reading those too. What about another question is, so when you're talking about social media rules and each of the platforms have, things you can't do, I think that's something that a lot of people miss. Is there like one or two for Facebook and Instagram that are the most common missed rules that maybe this group would want to know about?
Yeah, sure. Kate Hagan, do you want to jump in on that question? Obviously, some of what I already hit with the fact that the platform wants you to say that they're not sponsoring the contest is definitely like number one, right? And as I talked about within Facebook, you can't ask people to tag people, but you can, work around it through your questions. But certainly the sponsorship part of it is just hands down that's the number one. Kate, do you have other comments to that?
I would just say be very clear in your post about your rules, and make sure you state when the contest ends and how the person will be contacted. And then when we contact the winners, we also give them only a certain amount of time to reply to that before we pick a new one. So make sure you're very clear about that as well, so that if they don't meet your deadline, they don't come back angry at you and that they missed their opportunity.
That's really a good point. And that is something, I'll be honest, we learned through trial and error. As we've been running promotions for a long time, but making sure that we were clear in our rules to say that, yep, we're going to give you 48 hours to respond, and you're going to receive an email from this email address. You have 48 hours to respond, or we're going to select someone new, so that that person responding on day 5 doesn't understand why they didn't get, the prize. So really making sure that you're clear in that, and that that information is posted within your rules somewhere. And again, all of that information is available on each of the platforms, and there's a lot, there's a lot of examples out there to be able to look at. I think that's really the beauty of online promotions today, is you can really learn a lot by looking and looking at ones that perhaps have budgets that you don't is a good place to start, quite honestly, because they probably have people who are specialized in being able to make sure that they have followed all the rules and have all of the information that legally needs to be there and in place.
Oh, I think one more question here. How do you email them to give prize if they simply commented on a content post?
Kate, do you want to answer how you do that within your social media specific giveaways?
Yep, on Facebook, it's easy. You can just, and Instagram too, you can just hit reply to their comment and it will, or message. There's a little button that says message. And so it will come up with a screen for you to directly contact them that way through your business page.
Perfect. Well, if you guys, if there's any other questions, we'd be happy to take those. Otherwise, we can kind of wrap up for today and get you on your way. Just pause for a second. I am going to quickly just plug that today is your last day to purchase a ticket to Sip and Sample if you want that to include dinner. So those dinner orders need to be to our restaurants today. Today at 4 is the cutoff. And so the event is actually next week, Tuesday. If you're interested in just an entertainment ticket, those will be available up until the morning of. And we just think it's going to be a really fun event. So we hope you guys can join us. And then I wanted to also just say that Darcy Loma will be joining us at the end of the month for a Thoughtfully Fit, Building Resilience in Uncertain Times. So that will be another great program for you guys to join. And final shout out to our sponsors, TDS and Amplify Digital. Huge thank you to the Pilch and Barnett team for doing this and for all of you guys for attending today. Thank you for coming.
Thanks, everyone.